4 years of hiatus, the Gunn has finally returned to the big screen. Or small screen, depending how the hell you saw the damn movie. The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, is the soft reboot to 2016's biggest disappointment since Batman v Superman, and is the return of the League's most notorious supervillains all getting together for a new grand adventure with a mostly new cast, except the return for Hollywood's most beautiful angel, Margot Robbie. The film just had its big release just last weekend in theaters and on HBO Max. I got to see the film last week with my bros and gals, so without further ado, here's what I thought about the Suicide Squad. Well, I think after 7 years, I think it's now safe to say the DCU has been one of the biggest shit shows of our generation. I still remember all the overwhelming disappointment when BVS dropped that summer, but still the anticipation and even excitement for Suicide Squad. And I mean, you couldn't help it. The film itself was already such an interesting story compared to past DC films. A superhero film where the main characters are the villains and are trying to save the world? You couldn't help but be at least interested. But after the release of the Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers finally brings us the 10th film in the DCEU by one of the greatest comic book directors of the 2010s, Mr. James Gunn, by bringing us a mostly fresh new set of dark and twisted characters, where they're given a second chance to redeem themselves from their horrific crimes, or at least get lower sentences, by aiding the US government in a top-secret mission against a fascist government in Argentina. And if the plot didn't give it away already, James Gunn has given us a completely new and original plot with, aside from Margot Robbie, a complete new set of original characters from the 2016 disappointment. And was it enough to improve it? In every way imaginable. Every single part of this film has been improved in some way. From the writing, the cinematography, the acting, to even the editing. And some of those parts have even been perfected. So 2016 was a very important year for me when it came to learning about editing. Specifically from YouTube videos talking about the absolute mess that the fucking editing was in Suicide Squad. So to see this film get such an immense upgrade with some of the coolest and funniest transitions I've ever seen to some of the most fun and absolutely insane action sequences I've ever witnessed in a comic book movie, it's just insane to think that's supposed to be the same fucking movie. Now, James Gunn has proven himself to be a master of character writing since the first Guardians. But to see him pull off another crew of misfits with a giant shark, a smart rat, and John Cena wearing who the fuck this is, has to be one of the greatest team-up films in history. But the Suicide Squad takes the soundtrack to the next level, especially in the sequences involving Harley Quinn, giving us some of the best comedy and action sequences of the whole year, let alone the summer. It's so good that it either leaves you dying of laughter by the insane visuals and the way they use the music with those visuals, or just amazed of those insane visuals and how they use the music. It's so good that I'm still listening to the soundtrack every day, either when I go for a walk or I go work at my mom's office part-time. Still not burnt out. But the most magical quality of the Suicide Squad is not its goldmine of comedy or clever transitions or even its action sequences. It's its dedication to one thing, and that's its characters. Nothing that I've said throughout the video could have ever possibly worked without the cast's dedication to these characters. No matter how dark or simply insane these characters can be, the leads managed to bring back that magic that I once felt with a James Gunn film that I experienced with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 back in my high school years. But now with psychotic villains that are either successfully able to get you to connect with them or just simply be fascinated by them. It's just insane to think that this is supposed to be the film that we were all disappointed by just now 5 years ago, with some of the best written characters, some of the most fun and exciting and absolutely hilarious action sequences. And to see John Cena in his pair of undies is the absolute funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And to see Sylvester Stallone say the word bird so many fucking times on a single scene clip on YouTube is not healthy, but goddammit, it's the greatest thing ever. And to see Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn so perfectly again is exactly why I love James Gunn and why it's so good to see him again after that shit show of the Twitter drama fiasco from a few years back. And really, just shows the power that good writing can bring to a movie. In conclusion, I'm going to give The Suicide Squad a 9 out of 10. One of the best comedy films of the year, let alone of the summer. This film, from everything from its characters to cinematography to its freaking editing, man, manages to get you fucking rolling on the floor, are just amazed at how much of a great time this film can be. To think that this summer has been filled with such incredible films like A Quiet Place Part 2, In the Heights, and now The Suicide Squad, it's just absolutely just mind-blowing to me to think that 2 of these films have been by the same studio, and yet both have been bombs in theaters. I really hope Warner Brothers gets their shit together and figure this out, because the fact that this film is bombing in theaters right now should not be happening. Guys, that was my review of The Suicide Squad. I honestly have not had so much fun with the comic book movie since really Spider-Man Far From Home, or especially Avengers Endgame. This has been the film that I've been waiting for to see again. Just an absolute fun and off-the-walls comedy comic book film starring Mr. James Gunn. If only Chris Pratt was in it, that would perfect things. But, trying to grow his mustache. It wasn't obvious enough. We'll see where it gets me. Either way, I gotta know, what did you guys think of The Suicide Squad? Which one was your favorite character? I know I didn't mention a lot of them. I know I forgot to mention Polka Dot Man, or even the replacement of Deadshot. There's just so many other characters I could be bringing up, but all of them are so incredibly good in this film anyway that I already praised everyone in this fucking film. What else do you want from me? Either way, I really hope you guys enjoy this movie review. New videos coming all year, especially throughout the fall. I have some big plans, especially for the winter. So I have some interesting projects that I've been experimenting with that I really hope to get to show to you guys by the end of the year. But either way, thank you all for watching, and have a lovely day. See you guys.